Tell me the ways we've solved quadratics so far. Come on, Jerome. Factor and solve. What else have we done?
Complete the square.
Complete the square. What else have we done?
Graphing.
How did we solve using graphing?
Standard vertex.
Finding the zeros. Good job. What else have we used to solve? We did one other method to solve quadratics. Remember, if we only see x one time in the equation, what do we do? SAD map our way out of it, right? So those are the methods so far we've talked about. So sometimes we'll have scenarios that don't lend themselves well to any of those situations. And in that case, we rely on the quadratic formula. And I'm sure y'all remember the quadratic formula. You might not remember exactly, but you remember what it does, okay? Hopefully. Do you? I said that really quick and y'all are just like, whatever. Okay. Quadratic formula is a formula that solves for x. It gives us the solution, but there is a stipulation. Your equation, just like when you factor, your equation must equal 0 before you start. This is actually, if you took a standard form equation, ax squared plus bx plus c, and you completed the square, you would end up with the quadratic formula. I think that's pretty cool, but... Okay, then, let me just show you. This is a plug and chug kind of problem. You don't have to worry about leading coefficient being positive or negative. The only thing you have to worry about is that the equation equals 0, and it always, always, always works. So here we go. Again, it's opposite b, not negative b, because if b starts out negative, you'll make it what? Good job. All right, opposite b, plus or minus the square root. B squared. Anybody know what else is under the radical? Do you remember? 4ac. Here's your 2a, Silas. All over 2a. Be very careful because the entire fraction is over 2a. It's not just the radical part. Yes. This is pretty easy for students as long as you can follow order of operations to simplify. That's the hardest part about quadratic formula because it is literally plug and chug. So let's do an example. 3x squared minus 6x equals 5. Solve using the quadratic formula. So what do I need to do first? I need to move the 5. Why? It has to equal 0 before you start. Most important thing. All right, 3x squared minus 6x minus 5. What if I had lots of stuff on both sides? Yep, like terms, move them all. One side has to be 0. All right, what is A here? Good. B and C. Now remember, plug and chug. We are just replacing variables with values, and here's the values we're replacing them with. Okay? I'm going to write the little formula here for you so you can see. So b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And this equals x. This is telling me, this is solving for x. It's telling me where it crosses the x-axis. It's giving me the solutions. Am I going too fast? Extremely? I'm sorry. Tell me when you're caught up with me. Oh, I thought you were serious. All right, what's opposite b? Nice. Plus or minus square root of 6 squared. That's right. And you can put the negative if you want. Just be careful if you're using your calculator that you put it in parentheses because it's going to be positive regardless. But if you use if you do negative 6 squared on your calculator like this, see how it gives me negative 36? You have to put that negative 6 in parentheses when you square it. So just be real careful of that if you put the negative. All right. Minus 4. What is A? What is C? What's it doing? What are you doing here? Oh my goodness. Yeah. It is. Over 2A. All right, so I get, now here's where we're going to have to use a couple of skills that we talked about earlier. All right, I got 36 minus negative 60, right? Watch those signs. One of the biggest places students mess up are those signs under there, okay? What's wrong? Yeah, put it in the calculator. That's fine. It is. So you can put the steps under the calculator, but I want you to leave the radical in there if it doesn't come out to be a perfect square root. In other words, the square root of 96. Yeah. I got this. This 5 is negative also. Yeah, it will. So I got minus a negative, which will be, yeah. Now, here's what you have to do and pay special attention to this. That radical, you need to simplify it. Remember when we took a day doing that? How do you simplify a radical like that? You break it up. You look for a perfect square. Remember, we even had that list of perfect squares written out. 4, 9, 16, 25. You think it's 16? 6 and 16. Do y'all remember doing this? 16 times 6, because 16 is the biggest number from that list that will go in there. 4 square root of 6, right? Now I need to look at how I can simplify that. Again, be very careful because you have to be conscientious of what simplifies and what doesn't. You can't simplify something under this radical with what's down here in the denominator, okay? Only what's outside the radical, and it has to be everything. So can you divide all those numbers underlined in yellow by anything at all? 2. If I divide them by 2, what do I have left? Six. Yeah, don't do under the radical, only do outside the radical. Now, do you see where my 2 answers are coming from? Because remember, I have 2 places it crosses the x-axis, right? 3 plus 2 root 6 over 3 is 1, and 3 minus 2 root 6 over 3 is 1. So that's my 2 answers. If it comes out nasty like this, I'm okay with you leaving it just like that. In fact, I would rather you leave it like that than give me a decimal because this is an exact answer. Yeah. I might have an answer. Ask.
So wait. Okay, I'm sorry.
You know, you go first. I'm pretty sure you're more important. Anyways, when we do homework, because I know you're going to give it to us, do not give us like this. This is obviously a long.
It is a long. Tonight you'll have lots of different methods. It won't just be quadratic formula. Like you've got some that you're going to graph, you've got some that you're going to SAD map, you've got some that you're going to complete the square, you've got some that you're going to use quadratic formula on.
How many is some? You said some.
It won't kill you. I'm almost done with the lesson and then you're going to get started. And you got 40 minutes right now. You should be okay. I'm going to do one more example though. Yeah.
That's your question.
I got it now. I was going to try to grab the thing too.
All right.
I don't know how to do all of this, but what problems did you harder than that?
What problems what?
I said your problems did be harder.
But
What on your homework?
No, everything.
Oh, everything's just harder.
I don't know how to do it.
see, I remember I do this stuff. The stuff that we did in the beginning, I thought we started like this.
Really?
You got to think. Last year when I was at the soy side, she was a good teacher.
Sure. Let's do this one together.
I'm not trying to do it on myself.
I want you to solve using quadratic formula. Actually, let's do this. Let's make it fun. Let's solve by factoring factoring and let's solve by quadratic formula and see if we get the same answer whenever we do both methods. So what, isn't this fun?
No.
Yes.
Quadratic formula.
We're going to do quadratic formula here. Y'all want a graph too?
No. He made me drop my brush.
I thought y'all were disappointed because you also want a graph. And then we can complete the square.
I got it.
All right, let's do the two then. Let's do quadratic formula and let's factor and solve. Y'all want to give it a shot on your own and then you want to do it together? Or you want to do it together? Do it together. All right. For quadratic formula, what's wrong with it? It's got to equal 0. How do I make it equal 0? You could move that one over. I'm just in the habit of keeping my first number positive. It doesn't have to be for quadratic formula. But I probably would. I'd do 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals 0. All right, what do I do now? A, B, and C. What's A? B? C. It's a plug and chug problem at this point. No harder. Not that kind of chug, Jackson. All right, opposite B is what? 3. Plus or minus the square root of 9. That's right. Because it's B squared. I'm all right. I'm going to just plug it in here so everybody sees. Minus what? 4 times A times C. Everybody goes over what? 2 what? 2A. 2 times 2. Waddle, waddle. It's stuck in my head. Yes, and it is awful. All right, 3 squared is 9 minus 4 times 2 times 2. 16. Olivia, you look really, really tired. I'm almost done, I promise. What is 9 minus negative 16? Why is that convenient? So I'm going to split this up now since it's a perfect square, right? It's 5. So I get 3 plus 5 over 4 and 3 minus 5 over 4. 3 plus 5 is divided by 4 is 3 minus 5 is divided by 4 is what's negative 2 divided by 4? Yep. Negative 1/2. All right. Interpret this answer for me. Graphically, what does this mean? It's got 2 zeros. What's it doing? It's crossing the x-axis at 2 and negative 1/2, right? If I factor and solve, I should get the same answer. Let's see. Let's do it. I'm so excited. I'm going to take the same equal to 0 because whenever I factor and solve, it's got to equal 0, right? Yes. Say yes because that's the right answer. Yes. Okay. 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals 0. Tell me how to factor it. Y'all should factor in your sleep now. It's all right. So I multiply to negative 4, but add to negative 3. So what are the two factors? 1 and negative 4. I'm going to do my negative first, just because it makes it a little bit easier on me. Oh, Lord. Slash it. What can you take out of the first two? 2x. What's left? Shh, girls. Middle sign. What can you take out of the second two? 1. What's left? What does it look like factored? Yep. Either way you want to write it, the order doesn't matter. I've successfully factored, but I was asked to factor and solve. So what do I do at this point? If I solve each one of these, add 2, so I get 2. What do you notice about the left side and the right side? They're the same. We're doing, that's what I really want you to see, is everything we're doing has the same end result. It's different ways of doing the same thing. And I'm done.